YouTube has completely changed over this past year. The algorithm, the content, and even how you make money as a creator has shifted. And because of that, strategies that creators have been using for years have completely stopped working. Which is why it's so important that you know about these 10 major changes, whether you're a brand new creator or you've already got 1 million subs, so that you can continue to build and scale your channel even more next year. And if you're a small creator, number 10 is probably going to be your favorite. Let's start with number 1, the inspiration tab. Since ChatGPT was released a few years back, I know pretty much every creator I've talked to has been trying to find ways to use AI to make their process more efficient. But even with that, somehow I completely overlooked what I think is the most effective AI tool you can use. It's called the inspiration tab. So if you head into your content tab in YouTube Studio and hit inspiration up in the top left corner, it's going to lead you to this page here. At a quick glance, it's kind of confusing, and a lot of the time creators will just skip past this. But down here are some video suggestions that YouTube thinks might be valuable for your audience. Now, I think it's important that we zoom out for a second. A lot of these titles aren't that strong, and you kind of do have to do your own level of thinking to figure out what you want to make next. But this is a really good starting point for ideation. This isn't going to be the video you make, but it's a good way to start brainstorming, get some different ideas that YouTube thinks might be relevant. But where this is, I think, really interesting is when you click into one of these. Let's click on the first one as an example, right? It shows you a summary of what you could make about this video. It explains why it fits for your channel and shows you related videos that might be connected to something you want to make. Now, looking at something like this, I don't know that this is necessarily an idea I'd want to do, but for the sake of this video, I'm going to click Save Idea. And I'm also going to click Develop Idea. This is like seriously so cool. This is where you get a full summary of the video, what you should talk about in the video. It's going to outline a hook, things it thinks are important to mention in that hook based on your previous videos. It's going to give you an outline of some important points to talk about and brainstorm some terrible thumbnail options. What is kind of interesting though is that it is going to give you some title options that I think are pretty well tailored to the videos already on your channel, even if they're not perfect. And it's going to show you related videos again. What's nice is that you can use AI prompting to keep building on this. Like I can say, I don't want to talk about the processed empire or the cultural tsunami. It's going to help me to expand on the things I think are important. Consider this is helpful. I think the idea here is that the more you use it, the more it understands what you're going to actually find a benefit in, and it's going to keep improving. Now, to be clear, I don't think that this is going to give you videos that are pre-written that you can just post without putting much effort in, but it does learn from your audience. It does use data points from things your audience is watching, and it's going to help you to have a good starting point for ideation. This AI is probably trained on the videos that have already been posted to YouTube. It understands the transcripts. It understands the thumbnails that get clicks. Even if it isn't, at a glance, the best thing you could ever post, if you work with it and you use it as a tool instead of like a crutch for your channel, it can be really helpful. I've actually decided I want to start using this to think of new ideas, but not to build out the video for me. One more point here that I think is useful, how things work. You can add in tags here and explore other ideas based on the things you input. So let's say you're an educational channel that wants to make a video about a specific topic. It can help you to think about different perspectives that you might not have come up with. Again, tool, not crutch. I think that this is really cool though. All right, on that note, sticking with YouTube AI tools, we've got Ask Studio. You've probably seen this added at the top of your analytics page where you can prompt the AI with some questions about your analytics. You can also head up here and hit the Ask Studio button where it'll give you some ideas of things that you can ask it, or you can just ask any question to YouTube's AI. I had a video that underperformed and I want to know why. Why did my last long form video underperform? So just by asking that question, it's going to look at my analytics, it's going to understand the data, and it's going to respond to my questions. I think this is really cool because, to be honest, for the vast majority of YouTube creators, especially small creators, it takes a lot of time to understand the YouTube Studio page, to understand where things are, what they mean. By having this tool, you can get answers and strategy to help you improve your channel without having to comb through all the data to learn what it means. By looking at the response, the underperformance of your last long form video is primarily due to lower audience reach, which led to a low total view count. It shows that the people who did watch the video enjoyed it, but it didn't really get discovered by new viewers. And it's saying that the likely reason is because of the hook. It tells me about what happened with my hook, and it talks about my click-through rate and packaging. It talks about audience engagement, but it talks about the discovery. It talks about the things that actually matter here. And if you're just getting started on YouTube, I think that this is going to be really valuable for you to understand your analytics without, again, having to learn all of that information. I do think that these three at the top are going to be the most useful for you to use, but nonetheless, you can ask questions to Ask Studio and get quick answers right away. Seeing that YouTube is stepping into this AI space and creating tools that make it easier for us to create videos, I think that's really neat. But getting away from AI, let's talk about number 3, which is A/B testing. So in case you're not caught up, for years, we've had thumbnail testing on our YouTube videos where you could test up to 3 different thumbnails and see which one performed best based on watch time. Meaning if you put up 3 thumbnails, but one of them, let's say number 3, gets people to watch the video for longer, that's the one that would win the test and then get set as the permanent thumbnail for the long term. The idea with this isn't just to understand what's going to get people to click, but what's going to get them to watch the entire video and really become a part of your audience. Now, earlier this year, YouTube also announced that you'd be able to test titles as well. Again, up to 3. Let's take a look at how that works. So you can see when you pull up a video, you can click on A/B testing up at the top here, and you'll get 3 different options. You can test titles, thumbnails, or titles and thumbnails. To give you a sample of what this would look like, on this video here, which currently has almost 1 million impressions, I did a couple of A/B tests. Now, I forgot to screenshot the results of that test, but the first test I ran was with these 3 thumbnails and these 3 titles. Now, that initial testing showed me that this middle one here, concept 2, didn't do as well as concept 1 and 3, but ultimately 1 and 3 were tied. 3 had a slight advantage. Now, I thought that this thumbnail overall was stronger from concept 1. So what I did next was I tested the 2 titles against that first thumbnail option. And what I found was that it was pretty much 50-50, and the biggest factor here was, in fact, the thumbnail. As you can see, that allowed me to get a higher click-through rate early on because I had data on what people would actually engage with. If I look at my click-through rate from June, July, and August, it's 4.3%. This was right before I got title testing enabled on my channel. Let's see what happened after I got title testing. In the 3 months that followed, September, October, November, my click-through rate was 5.2%. You can see a measurable increase in the 3 months after title testing, which I think is really neat. I think the most effective way to use this heading into next year is that you should try to test different title options and different thumbnail options separately. Ultimately, I feel like if you test both at the same time, it doesn't really give you a good picture about which one's stronger. It kind of confuses between titles and thumbnails. When it comes to testing, I think that you should have one option that is safe and proven on your channel, one option that's been shown to work in your niche, and the third one should be completely experimental. Try something completely brand new. All right, but I think it's time to talk about change number 4, which is the shift to longer form TV native content. If I look at the devices that people watched my long form videos on this year, you can see that TV is at 38%, whereas mobile phone is at 31%. So almost 40% of the viewers who watched my long form videos watched them on a TV. That's pretty crazy, especially considering that in 2024, half of my viewers were on mobile phone and only a quarter were on TV. Earlier this year, YouTube overtook Netflix for TV watch hours, which means that people are spending more time watching YouTube videos on their TVs than Netflix, more time watching creators than literal TV shows. And as a result, what we've seen is that creators have shifted their content strategy too. If we take a look at a creator like Johnny Harris, for example, and we look at his videos from a year ago, you can see that some of them are longer. Like this one's 30 minutes, 42 minutes, but a lot of them are pretty average length, 16, 29, 14, 25, 28, 13, this one's 19 minutes. It's somewhere between usually like 15 and 30 minutes. But if we look at his recent content, the shortest videos are at least 30 minutes long, some of them 45, and I mean, this one here is over an hour long, an hour and 10 minutes. The same thing happened with Mr. Beast, actually. You can see he had a couple videos that were a little bit longer, but most of them were between 10 and 20 minutes for the most part. Whereas if you look at now, a lot of Mr. Beast Beast's videos are getting quite long. This one's 37 minutes. This one's 27. This one's 28. Almost all of the videos from major creators now are getting longer. Now, the reason behind that is because of that shift to TV viewership. The reason for this is that when viewers click on a YouTube video on their TV, they're not looking for something that's going to occupy them for 5 minutes. They want to find something that's going to give them 20, 30, 40 minutes or even an hour of entertainment, right? Sort of like a TV show. So for my own content strategy going into next year, I'm going to be focusing more on long form videos. I'm going to be aiming to push for 30 or 40 minutes with each upload so that when I post these videos, they're really well tailored for the majority of my audience, which is TV viewers. If you look in your studio dashboard, I almost guarantee you're going to have the same thing going on. So create videos that are custom tailored for those TV viewers, and you should start to see good results from it. Now, real quick, I want to tell you about something that I've been working on over this past year. I've been working with over a dozen YouTube creators, but I wanted to find a way to expand my impact and help out more people, which is why I started Launchpad. Launchpad is an exclusive community to help give you the tools you need to grow your channel and make money. In there, I host weekly live streams showing you new growth strategies. I give you personalized feedback on your content. I share all the expert strategies and tools I have to help you grow, and you can even book in one-on-one calls with me. And until the end of the year, if you use the discount code 2026, I'll give you half off your first month. So check out the link down below in the description, but let's carry on to number 5, which is swappable sponsor blocks. Now, this is something that's not out just yet, but I think it's going to be a huge shift for the YouTube platform. Basically, the way brand deals have been done for, I don't know, over a decade is that you get paid a flat rate to include the brand in a video of yours. Typically, the brand takes up anywhere from 60 to 90 seconds in your video, and they pay you a flat chunk of money to get that promotion. Now, no matter how good or bad your video does, you're still getting that flat rate, right? So if I accept a sponsor deal as a smaller creator and my video goes on to get 1 million views over the next 5 years, I'm promoting this brand for a very low chunk of money. What this new feature allows you to do is to have a sponsor block set in your video. It's completely separate from the video that you posted. It's almost like having 2 clips and you just drop the sponsor block in the middle, sort of like going to an ad break. Now for the viewers, they're not going to notice a difference. It's going to be the same as it always was, but for the creators, you can turn that on and off whenever you want. So now for creators who are doing brand deals, you can set a maximum view count, or you can set a time frame for which the sponsorship is valid, which allows you to, again, control if that video goes crazy viral so that you're not just promoting the brand for effectively no money, but also it allows you to resell sponsored spots in videos that are already doing well. So imagine this, you sell a 60 to 90 second integration with a brand, they go in the video and you sign them for a time frame of 1 year. Let's say that video brings in 100,000 views a month every single month over the next 5 years. After that first year, you've got a solid baseline of views on that video. And what you can do is you can swap out that sponsor block. You could sell it to the same brand and let them renew their contract, or you could sell it to a completely brand new brand for a larger sum of money. Basically, this is going to completely flip content sponsorships on its head. It's going to help creators to make a ton more money. And I think that if you're a creator who's doing brand deals, you should pay attention to this and watch for when it gets released. This is huge, like seriously one of the best features I've ever seen on YouTube. But anyways, let's carry on to number 6, which is collaborations. Now, to be honest, I'm sure you've already seen this. A lot of the top creators are already using this, but let me show you how it works. So basically, when you collaborate with another channel, sort of like what I did with this one, my main and second channel, it'll show up with both channels so that you can see both of the channels that are making this video. This might not seem like that big of a shift if we really think about it, because I mean, people have been collaborating for years. What's so different? But the truth is, it's easier to share audiences between creators so that if you're collaborating, you have crossover between the different creators making the video. So for example, if I wanted to collaborate on this video here, all I would have to do is scroll down to this invite a collaborator section here. What you can then do is you can search for a channel, invite them to collaborate, and then the other channel, the other creator, they accept that invitation. Once they accept that invitation, it shows up like this, and both of your channels will be listed on that video. The creator who posted that video still gets the monetization, so don't worry about having to share it in any way, and you still have full control over what the other creator can actually see. Thinking in terms of strategy, you want to use this as a way to grow your channel and to reach new audiences so that you can sort of share audiences between the two channels. or more channels. You can collaborate with as many people as you want. I did some research on this to see if it actually does help, and it looks like pretty much universally people are saying that this does helps you to reach a wider audience. So there's that as well. Okay, but number 7 is the courses function. You might have seen this in your YouTube studio. It shows up right here. Basically what this is it's kind of like a playlist with more expanded features. Let me show you. So basically, let's say that this course is called My First Course. I can add a description here, test, and add in videos as well. Let me add in a couple videos and I'll get back to you. Now, when you add a video to a course, it shows up as a part of that course on the video, and it's also gonna show up on your YouTube page as well, just like this. Now, as far as I understand it, this feature is designed to help you group together different videos and sort of legitimize the playlist a little bit. I also do believe that the goal is to add more features like quizzes and different documents and text down the line as well to help you add in different resources. Over the last year, I'd say, I've noticed a huge difference in the amount of courses being posted. And as someone who makes educational videos, I think it's really useful to help you group your videos together and make them more digestible for viewers so they know where to start and what to focus on, like what videos are most important to go through. Because if you're just going through a long list or a long library of videos, it's not as useful. So this is just, again, another feature, another way for you to like add different content brackets to your channel and really expand the way you're showing up on your channel as well. I think this is really useful for educational creators, maybe not other creators, definitely not entertainment-based creators, but it's something you can explore and play around with. All right, next let's talk about number 8, which is hypes. Now, I've been looking a lot into this feature and you might not expect what I'm about to say. Let me start by telling you what it is though. So this is a new feature that's meant to help creators with under 500,000 subscribers to get ranked on the algorithm. Basically what you can do is that you have a set number of hypes that you can use to, I don't know, hype a video, and theoretically it's supposed to show that this video is really good and show that it's really exciting. YouTube said that this doesn't help with algorithmic recommendations whatsoever, but I believe that they said they're building a tab for the most hyped videos so that you can see them ranked. I don't even know what that means though. As far as I understand, you have a limited number of hypes you can give out in a day, and I think YouTube is looking at a feature which will enable you to buy more hypes. I don't believe that that revenue, if you hype a creator, is going to be passed on to the creator. It sort of seems like me as a way to kind of pay to play on YouTube, and I'm not so sure that I love it. Overall, it doesn't affect algorithmic rankings whatsoever, so I wouldn't worry about hypes. I wouldn't make them a part of your strategy, and quite frankly, I'm not sure that really I want to be asking people to like, subscribe, comment, and hype my videos. Too many actions, simplify, just ask them to watch the next video instead. All right, next one, number 9, we've got multi-language audio. Let me start by showing you an example of what this is. If I head into the settings on this video, I can choose a different audio track, of which it shows me there's 24, and I can pick which language I want this video to be in. So if I play it in Italian, Mr. Beast is gonna be speaking to me in Italian. The goal with this feature is to make your videos more accessible to wider audiences. And what you can do is you can add in a different dubbed voice track that will go over your video for people who want that language. What I actually think is cool though is that you can do this automatically without having to add any more work. So if I look at this video here that I posted just about a month ago and I head into the audio track, I can see that there's multiple different audio tracks here and I didn't add any of these. Like I can listen to myself in Polish. 3/4 Amerykanów ma nadwagę lub cierpi na otyłość. This is crazy. Dang, that's cool. Anyways, the simple way to do this is that you can head into the languages section on your video in Studio and you can add a language. You can also upload a manual dubbing of this video to make it easier for people to follow along with. Now it shows you what's actually available. So the audio track, there's a few that are drafted that I could publish if I wanted to. It shows the title and description being published for a lot of these videos, and it also shows the subtitles. I honestly just find this is a really cool way to expand your audience and share your videos with more new people. Now you can set the default languages that you want and what ones you want to prioritize. But again, you can just come in here and you can review the ones that are drafted and publish them if you want. I've actually gotten recommended videos from other creators that don't speak English that have been dubbed back to English, and it confused me at first, but it is a thing, it's happening, and it's a nice way to expand your audience, so I definitely recommend trying it out. All right, if you're a small channel, this is probably the one you've been waiting a while for. Number 10, algorithmic focusing for small creators. I really feel like I saved the best one for last here, and it's because this is really cool, and I think it's a huge step forward for new creators just starting out. Because ultimately right now, YouTube is the biggest it's ever ever been, and it's only going to keep getting bigger. More creators posting, more videos being uploaded, and standing out against those creators is getting harder and harder. That's why YouTube created a team that is literally specialized in helping small creators. I know that sounds like a lot of nice words, but not necessarily a nice help for small creators, but the truth is this really will help. Because for new creators, the big problem really is that the algorithm doesn't understand who your audience is, and it's going to be trying out a bunch of different people, really. But for the people it's testing with, a lot of the time, they're just gonna choose the videos they already know and love. So this new team at YouTube is really designed to help figure out what your videos are about and give the algorithm a head start. So for example, I just started this channel right here, and there's a chance that someone on YouTube's team watched one of my first videos and helped the algorithm to understand that I'm making videos about YouTube tips for creators, sharing similar videos and really helping to guide the algorithm to make recommendations. Now, this doesn't materially change what you're going to be doing in your day-to-day basis, but what you should do is really try to focus your titles and thumbnails to make it clear what you're creating about. That way that team can help you and they can identify what your content's going to be about. Remember, they're not going to watch your full video, so make it easy for them. Really, there's nothing that you can change about your strategy here. I just think it's a great step forward for anyone just getting started on YouTube. And if that's you, definitely recommend posting your first video so that you can get that audience being built up. Now listen, those 10 changes are really exciting, especially going into a brand new year with a ton of new opportunity for you to really grow on YouTube. You don't have to use all of them, but I do think it shows that YouTube is really changing. It's becoming a better platform and it's really expanding in the tools that are offered and really helping us creators to make better content. Now listen, I wasn't expecting to talk for this long about these different changes, so if you're still here, be sure to like this video and subscribe for more. I really appreciate you watching, and I'm rooting for you and your channel. Now, if you're still watching this video, I recommend checking out this one next, where I show you the most boring method to hit 1,000 subs.